Late season, South Texas, brand new, huge free range property. Denise and I are headed to South Texas again, and I can't wait to get there.
McWhorter Custom Rifles presents
Perfect. Welcome back, folks. This week, Blondie and I are headed to a brand new location, Great Horizons Ranch in South Texas. Our good friend Ron Horton. Blondie's shooting her 6.5 PRC. Those South Texas bucks are going to be in for a world of hurt.
Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by McWhorter Custom Rifles, Zeiss Hunting, McMillan Fiberglass Stocks, Hornady Ammunition, Great Horizon Ranch, Rack 'em Up Roasted Feeds, and Borden Accuracy.
It's late season. I've had some medical issues, and Denise and I have been busy. We hadn't got to hunt near as much as we usually do, but we get a call from one of my oldest customers, Ron Horton, and Ron wants us to come down to his South Texas place, Great Horizons Ranch, and hunt with him late season. He wants us to try to kill a big buck, and he wants us to help with some management. So I'm never going to turn down an invitation like that, and Denise and I are really excited to get down to see our good friend Ron Horton. Ron's place down here in South Texas is it's a huge place. It's 13,000 acres, got about 8 miles of river frontage on it. Ron's had the place for a number of years. It's kind of been it started out as his personal honey hole, but he decided to build a really, really nice exclusive lodge down there and a bunch of housing, real nice housing for his hunters. He got some great guides, and he still hunts down there every year. Ron's killed several deer that are free-range deer, and they're over 200 inches. He's quite the hunter. He's quite the whitetail enthusiast, and we couldn't wait to hunt with him. Mr. Ron is just really a big whitetail fanatic. He's got property in Illinois, he's got property in Kansas, and he's got this big ranch in South Texas. Got big deer on all of them, and we were just honored to be able to hunt with him at Great Horizons this year.
We're on the Great Horizon Ranch, and we're on the North Ranch now. We've got the north and the south. The north consists of about 10,160 acres, and the south 2877, for a total of about 13,100 or something plus acres. The ranch is located in South Texas in the Golden Triangle near Cotulla. We're about 26 miles from Cotulla. On the South Ranch, we were able to take two 200-inch deer, and that's been my goal in this, is to be able to raise 200-inch deer. We're really proud of the whitetail that we have here on this ranch, and the natural genetics here are just fantastic.
Our weapons for this hunt, I had just gotten over some major surgery, so I'm going to take a 6-dasher with a 108 grain ELDM bullet going about 2,850 feet a second. Plenty of foot-pounds of energy to shoot out to maybe 600 yards. Most of these shots down there were going to be that or less, so I felt real comfortable with it, just absolutely no recoil. Denise was going to shoot her trusty snakeskin 6.5 PRC with 143 grain ELDX going about 30-50. She's got a short barrel, about 22 inches, so a gun that's killed quite a few deer over the years, and it was one of her favorites, so that's what we both were going to take on this trip.
We are excited to be at Great Horizon Ranch with Mr. Ron Horton. Got in yesterday afternoon and I'm heading out this morning. We've looked at some of the target bucks And some of those that are too young, I want to make sure we don't mistake some of those. And gonna get out here on this cool, windy morning and see if we can find them. Our first hunt out at Great Horizons, and it's a foggy morning, and there's some nice sized bucks that are starting to move through, and every one that comes through is getting a little bigger and a little bigger. One buck steps out and he absolutely takes my breath away. He is a 6x6 gorgeous buck. I look at my guide and he shakes his head, no. This is a 4-year-old, 160 class buck. Get that out of the way. I know I can't shoot him, so I just sit back and study this deer, and boy, does he put on a show for us.
This segment of Precision Hunting TV is brought to you by Borden Accuracy, makers of the most accurate custom hunting actions on the market. Manufactured in the USA to true bench rest tolerances. Borden Accuracy equals success.
It's hard to see a deer like that and not be able to shoot it, but man, just to sit back and observe something of that magnitude, it made it all worth it. We had such a great hunt in that blind on the first day, we went right back out there the second day. Unfortunately, it was kind of a repeat. Saw the same deer. And boy, did he put a show on for us the second day.
Last words to me when I left this morning were, kill something. So I don't want to disappoint him.
Good shot.
Yeah, guys, one little rat on the ground. Well, we watched a beautiful buck this morning named Lopez all morning. Then the Havalina started pouring out. So did that shot 2 for the team, right? Some conservation.
Had a fun morning here at Great Horizon Ranch. The deer we're hunting still has not shown up. We did see a beautiful buck named Lopez all morning. And these things came out yesterday afternoon, about 30 of them, and just taunted me the whole time. Couldn't pull the trigger because we had a group of bucks in the very, very back that we didn't want to spook off. But end of the hunt this morning, target buck didn't show up. Some of these guys did. Bad day for them. It's a fun thing to do when you're in Texas. Put a bullet in a Havalina. These things breed like pigs. So I think we're going to turn one of these into a Euro mount. Some nasty sharp canines, aren't they? Man.
swapped up areas this time. This morning we had a very thick blanket of fog that came in as we were heading to the stand. We still saw our no-kill buck, Lopez. He put on a show for us this morning, and he is a beautiful deer. It is about 90 degrees right now, and it was freezing this morning. Wind has picked up pretty high. We've got a big area to look out over right here. We can shoot up to 450 yards in front of the stand right here. So the 6.5 PRC McWhorter is definitely up to that. So we're all ready to go.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by McWhorter True Precision Long Range Hunting and Shooting School, Atlas Development Group, Brooks Barrels, and Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue. This segment is brought to you by Atlas Development Group, makers of the finest premium rifle cartridge cases on the market. Proudly made in the USA. Our stringent manufacturing process and raw materials yield superior results.
I'm hunting an older buck. It's a 5x5. He's got real long G2s, 3s, and 4s, and he's got a kicker off his G2. It's a very distinct deer. I feel like there's no way I'm going to be able to miss him. Haven't seen him yet, but the guide feels confident. Getting it done this morning. We got Bubba this morning. Day 3, we changed up blinds and changed guides, so just gonna change up my luck. It was a great idea to change up blinds, change my guides. This giant 5x5 shows up.
Welcome back, folks. Today I got my master head gunsmith Dustin Waters with me, who's also my stepson, and we're going to talk about the importance of bedding. And at McWhorter Custom Rifles, everything is guaranteed half minute or better. You can't do that without a good bedding job, right?
You gotta have a good foundation.
Most factory guns and even semi-custom guns are either not bedded or they are on some kind of bedding block, and that's just not a stress-free bed. And it's very important to have a stress-free bed for your action, your barreled action, each and every time. So tell them what the difference in the way that we do it and the way that other people do it, or what no bedding would cause you.
So like in a factory gun, sometimes you'll get where they bed the recoil lug. So they'll take Marine Tex or Acuglass or something. They'll actually put it around the recoil lug, sandwich it together, bolt it together, and send it out the door. That's what they call their bedding job. That's a custom bedded rifle from them. What we do is we actually have these radius aluminum pillars that we put on the action, so there's no stress there at all. The holes are already pre-drilled in the stocks. We've created a 40 thousandths gap all the way around the action before it's set in there, and we free float everything. So once we bed this action to this stock, it is perfectly molded, and there'll be no stress. You can actually, right here in Georgia where it's 100 degrees, 100% humidity, you could pull it out, you could shoot it. it's going to be perfect. You can take it 10 degrees below in Montana and it'll still be holding the same accuracy, same point of impact. You can pull it in and out and it's going to go back to the same place every single time. No stress.
And we check those with a gauge. It clamps to the barrel, touches the stock. When you break the recoil lug loose, if it moves more than 1,000, we don't even take it to the range, because I've shot enough rifles in my life to say for sure you can see a bad bedding job on the target, for sure.
It won't change the point of impact.
It'll double group. Every time that gun goes off, it has a bearing on the action. So if it's not stress-free bedded, it can shoot here, it can shoot here, and it can shoot back over here. We call that double grouping, and that's one of the main things I see if we ever get one that's not bedded completely right.
Right, it's almost like a scope's loose. You gotta have a good foundation, just like a house. You're going to start off with a good foundation before you start building. And when you have a stress-free bedding job, you're good to go.
When you got a half minute of angle guarantee, you gotta have a stress-free bedding job, and that's what this man does. And that's your True Precision Tip of the Week, brought to you by Allan and Dustin and McWhorter Custom Rifles.
Precision Hunting TV is also brought to you by Leo Photo USA, Trigger Tech, Hawkins Precision, Armageddon Gear, Mesquite Creek Taxidermy, Hell's Canyon Barrels, Gun Foam, Boyd Harness Company, and Metal Spinning Targets. This segment is brought to you by Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue, real Texas barbecue.
It was a great idea to change up blinds, change my guides, changed up my luck. This giant 5x5 shows up. He's in some tall grass, so it takes a bit to get him where I feel comfortable shooting. But he stops broadside perfect. Squeeze the trigger and it's all over.
Got him. He's down. Yes, good job.
Well, we got it done. This is literally the last hunt that we possibly could sit out here. And we had this morning hunt, and that was it. And Bubba, Utah, and I got it done.
He's gonna bite you.
What?
He's gonna...
Oh my gosh! Yeah! Oh yes. Man. 6.5 PRC, 140 grain ELDXs. Just took that shoulder out. Man, look at this old feller. He's got a whole lot more going on than I thought he did. Look at all the stuff, gnarly stuff off his right main beam coming out the back. He's got a nice curl right there. Did you see that? Oh yeah, he had a hook coming out there. All kind of little gnarly stuff. And was trying to split on his left brow at some point. Cool old buck. Was gonna have to take my cameraman Utah to the airport here very shortly. Bubba, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for coming down and
Good job, good call.
putting the hunt on. It was definitely a hunt.
My trusty McWhorter 6.5 PRC has killed a lot of animals. This thing is built off a board and action, got a Brux barrel, Hawkins muzzle brake, mounts and bottom metal, Trigger Tech trigger, built off a Macmillan stock which was custom painted. I got a Zeiss V6 3-18 by 50 scope sitting on top, and I've got my Zeiss binocular rangefinders. I love it. Thank you, Great Horizons Ranch.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Thank you.
Mr. Bubba.
Got
Thank
it done.
you. Yes, sir.
We got it done.
Bubba knew this ranch like the back of his hand, and he put me on numerous deer. We saw a whole lot of bucks. We saw some young bucks. We saw some up-and-comers. Ron really managed this place very strictly, so he actually had a book from his wildlife guide that showed us deer that they were after to try to kill and deer that we weren't. So we saw many great young deer that were 4 and even 5 years old that were on the off limits list. So we did not get to shoot the big trophy buck that we're after. We saw one buck on the last day. We were coming down the road. That was a huge buck. He was the buck that we were looking for. I got out, tried to get on him. He crossed, got out of the way. So even though I left without killing a buck this time, I had a magnificent time. The food, the camaraderie, everybody in camp. Mr. Ron was in camp with us. We just had an absolute blast. And Denise got to kill a big deer on her last day there too. So it was just a great experience at Great Horizons Ranch.